video demonstration, I'm going to show you how to decorate the Margit's pop box from the press cut die collection. We've got the die here. And this is the simple one that I made in the first video. To show you how to get the mechanism, you want to watch the first video. In this second one, I want to show you how to decorate it. And we're going to use some of the sentiments, the panels that are in here, and I just want to show you how we're going to cut the individual pieces. So to start with, what I've actually done is I'm using this little section here with the heart, and you'll notice you've got the heart and you have a separate outside line for the heart which fits around it and will give it a solid piece. So we can cut those two pieces and make ourselves a panel. So I've cut the two together to make a pink, and then the single on its own in the grey. So this is using the Blush Craft Artist Essential card. This is using the basic grey Craft Artist Essential card. And I've done that and glue them together, and I've repeated that through different colours. So I've used blush, rose and the grey. So you can see here, kind of worked to make them all together, and I've made lots of different mixes of them. So just putting them together really simply gives us the hearts. So that's how we've achieved the heart section. The next thing you want to do is you want to cut the two panels together for this detailed filigree, and again it gives you a solid and an outside. So put the two dies together, and you would just take a piece of tape, pick those up, and we will put those onto a piece of, say, the pink, which I'm going to do here. And a great idea is, when you're doing this, trim down your card around the size you want to cut. It makes the cut crisper. So we would do this, and once we've cut that out, again, I've done this in the basic grey, we get this panel. We then use the section on its own, and we cut that on the card, which will then give us this panel. So again, we can put those two against each other. I'm going to use a little bit of spray glue. And there we have a beautiful panel that fits our box just there. So if we can then mix that together, so we'll take the pink heart, onto the grey background. So I've kind of alternated colours here. So I have the pink on the grey, and gives us a beautiful panel. Now I've already made 3 of those to put onto the panels, and there are different panels you can use. There's one here with a heart with a sort of ivy that you can actually cut directly in and place behind. There's also a separate panel which gives you a heart filigree and a solid heart in the middle. So there's lots of different panel options you've got with this die. But here I've got these 3 panels. So what I'm going to do is to simply glue those on. So you want to make up your box first. And then I'm just using a little bit of wet glue, which allows me to get it in the right position and move it around. I'm using the Craft Artist Super Tacky glue. And these go on the front just like this. And again, these will help to weight down these flaps, but will still fold completely flat. So we decorate those 3 panels. And with the 4th panel, I'm going to rotate that round, and I'm going to put the heart on the same. So a little bit of foam tape. And we're just going to, there we go, pop that on, a little bit of glue, and we'll pop that into there. So we keep that colour mix and those patterns going really simply. Now, for the inside, so you see folds completely flat. For the outside of the box, I've actually made 4 squares just using either nesting dies or just using a guillotine in the same colours just to cover it over. There isn't a die for this section as there's been so many different square dies available that it's easy just to trim down and make your squares. So we just make that pop of colour so it looks right. Turn it over. You could cover this section here with patterned paper or with stamping. There's so many examples. Have a look at the Crafting with John Next Door and Crafts 2 group on Facebook and you'll see lots of different examples of how this has been used in so many different ways. So there we've got our panels stuck on, and again when we open our box now we've got that beautiful sort of two-tone pink and grey and the panels flopping open. So next we're going to put some hearts in. So again, I've done exactly the same. I've cut the 2 dies together, but I've rotated all of the colours to give me different colour options. There we go. So we have all these different colour option hearts. So now I can just start to add these in. A little bit of wet glue allows you to position it. So I'm just going to pop some onto these risers. Okay, popping up, and again fold your box, make sure it closes. We have the second shelf. So again, I'm just going to pop these on. And pop that one in a little bit lower. There we go. And again, just make sure it closes. So now we have a beautiful closing box with a host of sort of pop-up hearts. What we want to do now is to add some little pop-up on strings. So what I've done is cut the other dies in the set, the heart, again in the 3 colours, and simply put them together so that we've mixed them round. I've then cut a strip of acetate just to 5 3/4 inches, which is across the width of a piece of A5, to half an inch, sorry. A little bit of a glue on because it's the best way to glue acetate. We pop our heart in the centre, and that gives us our panels that we can now have popping out or up. So again, simply add a glue dot, and I've got a few of these already made, so we'll bring these in, again mixing and matching the colours. So I've got 5, so I'm going to have 3, 1, 2, 3 at the top I think, and 2 at the bottom. So there we go. Again, I'm going to affix these using a glue dot, as I find that's the easiest and cleanest way to do it. So we'll pop our heart in, have one there. Again, I'm going through and I'm attaching it to the back, and we'll slide our 3rd one in. So just slide that in and stick that on, and then simply going to turn it over and cut out the excess pieces of acetate. And again, just check it, close your box, make sure it closes. You can see there it closes. I've got those sort of shaking little hearts there. I'm going to do the same with the next 2. So again, just adding a glue dot on the front. You can use a wet glue or your power tape or your red line tape. Whoops, I lost a heart there. I'm just going to trim this down first, and let's have a little heart popping there. And again, I'm going to trim this one down and have a little heart popping there. And as you can see then, I have those beautiful risers. Everything folds flat still for postage, but when you open it, you've got all the hearts popping. and it looks beautiful. So I can simply then add a sentiment. So using the die set again, I'm going to go with love. So a little bit of spray glue. And we'll just pop the love on the front. And then I'm going to add a couple of little flowers. And I've just made these using the John Next Door small flowers die set. And you could decorate this however you want to. So we could add some little flowers into the heart, into the box, wherever we think we want them. So really simple. I'm going to pop on there actually, there we go. But as you can see there, beautiful explosion of hearts and love that folds completely flat for posting.